Hello everybody, this is Brian. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Village's Bubble. Well, in our last video, I did a little teaser about an event that happened here in Spanish Springs. I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer. Let me tell you a little bit about it. In 2001, February 2001, the PBA, Professional Bowlers Association, tour came to the villages. Now, every year, the PBA 50, which is the senior league for any bowlers 50 and over, comes to the villages. But back then, it was the PBA. It was the main league. They came here for the Sun Bowl. The Sun Bowl was played at Spanish Springs until it got down to the finals, which is the top 5 in the step ladders. Those were played outside, right here in the square at Spanish Springs. Let's take a look.
No, this is not San Francisco. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly, and welcome. Today, we're here in the heart of the village's historic town square district. A turn-of-the-century scenic collection of shops, restaurants, boutiques, and offices where you can dine, dance, and yes, even go bowling in 2 state-of-the-art bowling centers. But today, outside under the Florida sun, just a Pete Weber strike away from the town square gazebo, the village is hosting the PBA's best for the finals of the Sun Bowl. That's right, a bowling championship outside. How do you do that? Well, to find out, you're going to have to stick around.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our top 5 for the Village's Sun Bowl. In the number 5 position, a former PBA Rookie of the Year, one of only 4 to own the PBA's Triple Crown. 25-time champion, PBA Hall of Famer, Pete Weber! Joining him in the number 4 position is a 4-time champion on Pro Bowlers Tour from Newark, New York, Doug Kent. And in the number 3 position, 27 PBA titles in all, the only player to capture the Super Slam. He's rolled 300 on national TV, PBA Hall of Famer, Mike Aulby. And our number 2 seed for today's championship round is a former Rookie of the Year, 2 titles to his credit, from Wichita, Kansas, Chris Barnes. And our tournament leader is a former PBA Rookie of the Year, 8 titles to his credit, 2 times the winner of the Tournament of Champions, from nearby Claremont, Florida, Jason Couch!
You know, they like to say here at the villages, they're not selling homes, they're selling lifestyle. I can tell you one thing they've sold, plenty of tickets. It's been sold out for over a week. We are outdoors under the Florida sunshine. Hi again, everybody. Jim Kelly along with PBA Hall of Famer David Ozio here. The biggest difference, of course, we're not inside. What kinds of problems will the weather, the sun, the wind create?
The players all this week were inside in controlled climate. They had no physical problems. Today, outside, we have heat, we have humidity, and we had rain earlier. It's causing the players' hands to expand, and they're sticking in the ball a lot more than what they did all week. So this is going to be the paramount factor this week.
David, if you lose your spot out there in the lanes behind us, if it's in the sun glare, what do you do to correct the problem?
Well, everyone is going to have that problem with glare or whatnot. It's going to take the players focusing on what they're doing and spending the extra time it needs to throw the perfect shot. No matter what is the end result, they have to throw a great shot. So they're all faced with the same problem.
Well, one problem we had, if you come to Florida, the weather can change almost instantaneously. We had some drizzle earlier, so a bit of a delay. But let's get to the lane conditions and the weather right now.
Well, the lane conditions this week were a 46-foot pattern, and it was buffed, oiled to 7 feet, buffed to 46 feet in a reverse Christmas tree. There's no presents given here, folks. The lanes conditions were very, very difficult. Speed adjustments had to be made, and the players conquered them. The weather today, 82 degrees. The winds are 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the southeast, occasionally gusting, and the players may have a problem with that.
So we are ready to go in match number 1, seeded 4th, Doug Kent out of Newark, New York, and Pete Weber out of Missouri, the right-hander, just 1 win away from tying his father in terms of victories. The Village is a sellout here for the Sun Bowl finale outside. First up, right-hander Pete Weber.
Pete's first shot. Excellent shot by Mr. Weber. No holds barred, Pete calls for. He says, I am on to play today.
Doug Kent, 13 years a pro, 11 as a touring pro with 4 PBA national titles and 3 regional crowns. Well,
Great
he
shot
says
by
he
Doug.
thrives under pressure. He lives for who you bowl against and how you're bowling. Said he gets his blood pumping. Talking about the weather last night with Pete Weber. Said obviously when you're in Florida it can play havoc when you're outside, but he said, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. Going to talk to my wife tonight on the phone, not talk about anything heavy, just kind of relax, get a good night's sleep.
Well, he's obviously showing some relaxation right now because he's throwing excellent shots. Another excellent shot right here. He should get paid. Great shot, and he's going to show some emotion. Pete is a very, very, very emotional player, and he will jump in and give Doug all he wants. Match is all even at this point. Great shot by Doug. I think he got that one just a little bit too far to the right. The ball came in a little bit behind the head pin. Solid 10 stands. When the ball enters the pocket, light flush, the ball's going to enter that lead that solid 10. So he's got to make a spare right now.
Well, you might have seen on that last strike that was thrown by Doug Kent that he was having a little trouble with the footwork. We had rain earlier. They covered up the lanes as quickly as possible. You know, it took about 45 minutes to resurface.
Right. What they did was they reconditioned the lanes. They completely stripped the oil and redid the lanes completely. And also they maintenance the approaches because it's very, very, very important to have perfect slide as it is for a perfect shot. So that's what he's doing right there, is wiping the dirt off the lane and possibly any humidity or sweat.
So Pete Weber trying to tie his famous father Dick Weber with 26 PBA titles will be the winner of match number 1. He'll go up against Mike Aulby when we come right back to the sold-out Villages. Magnificently groomed golf courses, 171 holes designed for every skill level. In fact, Chichi Rodriguez invites you to play 2 of his favorite golf holes right here at the Villages. So we did, starting with PBA Commissioner Ian Hamilton.
Think I can sign up for golf school at the Villages?
Ladies and gentlemen, Grammy winner Walter Ray. And the pride of Ocala, Florida right here, a man that is obviously in the Hall of Fame and picked up his 31st title this year, earlier winning a major in Toledo. Straight down the middle. What about a man who's the top seed? He warmed up by playing 18 with us, Jason Couch.
Good to the last drum. Back-to-back pars. He's catching fire.
That pin was wiggling the whole time. That was a loose tooth.
With the man who obviously bowling is not affected by my golf game and also the top seed, here's Dave.
Thanks, Jim. I'm down here with our tournament leader, Jason Couch. Now, Jason, you have led events this year twice, and you have failed miserably. Is the news coming off today? Surely the news is coming off. What do you think?
Well, Dave, I think that there's been 250 shot at me all 3 weeks I've been on the telecast, but today there's going to be a 250 shot. It's going to be mine.
Well, you have had some big scores bowled at you, but, you know, I've got all the confidence in the world. You are my hero. He's ready, Jim. Up to you, buddy.
Jason Couch, the top seed. You can see the sellout crowd here at the Villages. So match number 2 out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Mike Aulby already into the winner's circle. Just outside San Francisco earlier this year. Winning in Daly City, California. He was the 2nd seed that week, and he finished up 1st. Asked him about bowling outside today in the sun here at the Villages, and he said he didn't think it would be a problem because a couple of years ago, back in '98, he had to bowl outside in a championship in Italy on the beach, and they bowled that day from noon until 6. So a little sunblock and a little bit of the sunglasses. Pete Weber dispensed with Doug Kent, 246 to 198 in match number 1.
Pete is hoping that he has not lost his rhythm in a little bit of time down, and this will start to tell the tale right here.
Bingo.
There he is. No loss of rhythm for the main man. All right, Mike throwing a great shot right there. He's kept it tight on line. He got his hand to the side of the ball and got the heavy roll on it that he was looking for. It is paramount that he gets the ball rolling
right
heavy.
Asking Pete Weber where he would feel the pressure in being on TV today. It's the very first ball because it had been a while.
Yes, it has been a while for Pete. He's gone through the torment of the ups and downs that players go through, and so he wants back in the game. And he's been out of the game for so long, and if you notice back over the years, he's been out of the game a couple of times.
Well, he dispensed with Doug Kent in the first, and he's got a tough man he's up against now, Mike Aulby, in the second. Back at the Villages, first time they've hosted a national tour stop. They've had the seniors here 2 or 3 times, back in 91, 98, and this year, of course.
Right, and they had a great tournament here. Roger Workman won that senior event, I believe, and it was a great win for him. Pete Weber's currently 9 pins down, and he is looking away. He does not want to see what Mike Aulby does right here. And if he strikes, and which he does, that puts Pete in marginal trouble. So Pete has not gotten a freebie here today with Mike Aulby, and Mike Aulby's going to see to it that it is not given to him.
That's part of that intimidation. He's not looking at Aulby right there on your screen. He's not looking at the lanes. He is looking 90 degrees to the right, away from everything.
I believe that's more mental preparation because he doesn't want to know what goes on. In case Mike Aulby throws a bad shot and goes Brooklyn or trips a 6 or something like that, sometimes that plays on the competitor's mind, and you'll get up and throw a bad shot right after it. So I think that he's probably doing the right thing right now, the flow that he's in.
Catch a roll, catch a roll.
There are rumors, and it's ironic because he won in Daly City as Weber's looking away, that Mike Aulby is thinking about retirement.
24. So this is, well, I'm going to tell you exactly, this is not, yeah, this is a key shot right here. If he gets this one right here, he's going to really put the hammer down on Mike to set himself up for the 10th frame. And the first ball in the 10th frame will put the match over. Well, you know what? There's going to come a time when we all get frustrated, as this man is right here with that. These are all excellent bowling shots. It's just that his role is a byproduct of that tap right there, which not very many people leave on a consistent basis. I've seen Pete leave 5 or 6 of them in one game alone.
Scale of 1 to 10, what do you give Pete Weber's bowling work ethic?
Pete told me that in December, he and his dad started practicing 2 hours a day. And that's something really rare for Pete. He generally doesn't practice a lot, and his game's always been managed well. Well, he said that, you know, it's time to get back on it and put some time in. He spent 2 hours every single day working on his game before the tour started. And I'll tell you what, it showed up here, especially at this end of the season here, really well.
That was 9-pin number 5 for Pete Weber.
And that is a frustrating, that would be like a right-hander, let's say, for example, myself, leaving solid 8s. I don't throw as much ball as Pete does, and so I come into the pocket and leave a solid 8. That many of them would be really frustrating. This is clearly Pete's worst shot of the day. Now, whether the solid 9 has taken his mind away from execution, it is showing up right here. Now, he's left the 5-count washout. Now, he can't let himself get too awry here. He's going to have to barely slide the ball on the left-hand side of the 1-pin. He's going the other way, and he made it! Great shot by Mr. Weber. There's 2 ways you can make that spare. You can shoot it on the left-hand side of the 1-pin, the 1 into the 6, into the 10, or you can go right in between, deflect the ball off the 1 into the 6-10, and make it, as he threw it absolutely perfectly right there.
"22 years a touring pro, 1 win, as we pointed out, away from tying his famous father, and a little frustrated with that effort there.
Mike
he finishes up with 204. He needs to mark right here. Mike does.
Yes, a mark meaning he needs just to convert any kind of spare and just stay out of trouble. No gutter balls, no big splits, no nothing. Game over. Go. Mike Aulby is your winner.
Well, we started with 111. The Village's Sun Bowl by the numbers. We are down to just 3. Mike Aulby will advance. Next up, it'll be Chris Barnes.
All he's got to do is stay behind the foul line now. That's really important, which I don't think will be a problem for Mike. The best he can bowl is 224. If he converts the spare, it'll be 214 games. Solid performance. Mike, I'm sure, is extremely happy with getting out of this game alive.
Sellout crowd. We're outside at the Villages, and this man, Pete Weber, well, we talked about his suspension for 10 months. Well, you can hear about that and much more in his own words. Meanwhile, the town square, the center of fun here at the Villages. Restaurants, sidewalk cafes, first-run films, holiday street festivals, and free entertainment every night. Welcome back. No question, the good times roll right here at the Villages. In fact, there are 2 bowling centers, the Fiesta Bowl and Spanish Spring Lanes, each featuring 32 lanes of bowling fun. We've got some bowling fun before a sellout crowd under the Florida skies right here. Mike Aulby over Pete Weber, 214 to 204. So Aulby advances against Chris Barnes, but first we talked about an inside look at Mr. Weber.
Really good right now.
So how does the viewer differentiate between the man they see on TV and the Pete Weber they might meet in person?
Well, what they're seeing is Pete Weber doing his job, doing what it takes to get the job done. That's what they're seeing. And they perceive that as, God, what a jerk, or something like that. And it's like, well, I mean, come on. What do you do at your work that makes you so good at your job? Okay, that's the first question I have for them. But then again, do they, because of what they see on the lanes, do they refuse to come and try and talk to me afterwards? I mean, if they ask me for an autograph, they know I'm telling you straight out, you'll get it. There's no deal. I mean, you ask, I give. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And if you want to ask me questions, I answer questions. I mean, it's just, I believe I'm one of the easiest people to get along with off the lanes that you could have.
While the suspension might be behind Pete the bowler, did it help the future for Pete the husband?
Oh, I think it did. Did a little role reversal there where she got up and went to work, and I stayed home and took care of the house and got the mail and started writing the bills out even. And I don't know how I got into that, but I did. But yeah, we became a lot closer. We know a lot more about each other now, and it can't be any better.
It's Mike Aulby up against Chris Barnes. From a sold-out crowd, they're on their feet under the Florida sunshine here at the Villages. PBA Hall of Famer David Ozio is alongside. Glad you're on board. The Villages Sun Bowl, the finals. Chris Barnes out of Wichita, Kansas, the very personable right-hander. But he has made 12 shows last year with a big goose egg and 3 more this year with a goose egg, and that is definitely on his mind.
It is hugely on his mind, and I think that his goal today is going to knock this onus off his shoulders. He is too great a bowler to be going 15 consecutive telecasts with no win, and he's out to prove it today. He has a phenomenal game. His backswing is incredibly straight, and he is there every single week.
Now I've got to look up and find out how you knock an onus off your shoulder.
Well, you know what? I just pull that out of the air. If that's right or right, who cares? Trick with this is going to be Aulby. Aulby threw 4 bad shots in the game against Weber. Weber left all those solid 9s. Technically, Pete bowled a better game than Mike. Mike outscored him. That will not be allowed this game. Chris Barnes is going to make life rough on him because Chris Barnes is that good a player, and he's bowling that well right now. So, Mike, better guard his
Hurry up. Whoa, he wasn't sure it was going to get there. Success factor on lane 1 and lane 2 in his match against Pete Weber.
Mike's got to be thinking, no slip-ups here.
Good idea.
I want to throw as great a shot as I can throw. Mike's going to take his time, focus on the target. He wants the ball to come off his hand nice and slow and smooth as the methodical player that he is, and get a heavy roll on the ball. End result, 10 in a pit.
Chris Barnes was pretty honest talking to me last night. Talked about his terrible start earlier in the week. I mean, after the first couple of games, he was headed to the airport.
He shot 157, 149, his very first 2 games of the event, and you know what? He did not give up. He went to work, got the right ball to match the condition. He said he moved extreme to the left and slowed his speed down and swung the ball across the 5th arrow out to about the 3rd arrow and let the ball roll in nice and slow. But all the players this week had to do that. That was really the only true way to play the lanes. And so he put it all together, and now he's on the telecast. So that just proves the talent that the man has. The baby split here. Maybe not that good a shot, and he's going to shoot cross lane with a plastic ball and covers it perfectly.
The bowling world lost one of its greatest ambassadors on Monday when Joe Norris died of complications from pneumonia at the age of 93. He competed in a record-tying 71 ABC championship tournaments and holds the record for career pinfall with over 123,000. A member of 7 Hall of Fames, including the ABC, he, of course, will be remembered for...
1 pin right here. Keep it behind the foul line as he's done. You have a winner in Chris Barnes.
That's all you had to do. Good couple of weeks, though, for Mike Aulby. So the finals of the Villages Sun Bowl 2001, the top seed, Jason Couch against Chris Barnes when we come right back. Welcome back to the Villages. We've had some terrific matches. First off, Pete Weber started with 5 strikes in a row. He dispensed with Doug Kent. In number 2, though, Mike Aulby was way too much for Mr. Weber to handle, looking for his 26th PBA title. And a terrific match we just saw the conclusion of, doing what he had to do with a double and then marking. Chris Barnes advances to meet the number 1 seed, Jason Couch.
Chris Barnes has got an idea right now. He wants to play the ball down the lane, and he can't make any changes now. This has to be it. He's going to be on his way. Well, shows you right there, under the pressure, he's going to throw a great shot like that. So he sees the lane the way that he wants to see it, and now he's just going to throw to try to focus on throwing 12 of the best shots he can throw.
Rematch of the 99 Tournament of Champions where Jason bested Barnes. On TV, Couch pretty much with a 198 average. And all that power. 15 miles, 1.3 million bowling lanes. More importantly, we've had great PBA Hall of Fame bowling. The number 1 seed, Jason Couch, up against the 2nd seed on his birthday, 31 years of age, Chris Barnes. How appropriate would that be? Lots more straight ahead.
Chris Barnes got up on the right lane and failed to convert the double. He threw a bad shot, left the 4-7 and spared, and then struck on the left lane. Jason gets up after a strike, and then he splits, leaves the 6-7-10. Now, Chris Barnes is up 14 pins.
So now on lane number 1, needs some help and gets it.
Excellent shot by Jason Couch.
Said if there's been a plus this week for Jason, it's been his mechanics and his timing. If he's had a problem, it's been his approach.
Jason has a tendency to get a little bit too fast with his feet, and you see with the real high backswing, he drops the ball into the swing so tightly underneath the shoulder, close to the ankle, and this is something every bowler in America needs to pay attention to because it is the way you throw a perfect bowling shot. Chris Barnes the same way, close to the ankle.
Yes! He has been leading the PBA Tour the last year or so in just about, as you know, David, every statistical category, but still the goose egg. What does he have to do to get over the hump?
Personally, I think this is all mental. He just has had a bunch of weird... Well, you got to look back to it last year. Last year, he was bowling a lot of the 3-man matches. It is very difficult to get out of those 3-man matches just to get to the title match alone. So in this type of format right here, Chris Barnes could shine a lot better in the future, more so than he has in the past. Now, right now, Chris is up 14 pins.
Last match. Dale Ballard from Ebonite, thank you. Ebonite, thank you very much. And thank you, ESPN, especially the Villages and the people here. Woo!
Well, the preceding a paid political announcement. You told us last night you were going to have to be aggressive right from the start, and you were.
Well, you know, I wasn't sure who I was going to bowl. There's all Hall of Famers on there and eventual Hall of Famers, especially Chris Barnes. I bowled him in the Tournament of Champions a few years back, and I think this is the two we're going to battle out most. It's going to be me and Chris in the future, and you have to get out on him early or he'll crush you.
Let's talk about your intensity. Does that sometimes fuel your performance out there?
I think it does, and sometimes it hurts it. I think that's what David Ozio was talking about today. Be patient and let the shots work itself.
Are you on the payroll here? You're going to have to give tips to all 5 finalists.
Jason's a great bowler, and he gets in the situation a lot, and sometimes he lets it get away from him, and today he controlled it perfectly, so I'm proud of you, my boy.
Thank you, Grandpa.
How would you define momentum?
Oh boy, the last 3 weeks, third, second, first. I bowl Robert Smith next week at the battle at Little Creek. Look out, Robert, I'm coming for you.
How would you define pressure?
This was pressure this week. Bowling in front of your hometown crowd and pulling out the victory is just incredible. Words are hard to describe right now, it really is.
When we look ahead to next week in the battle at Little Creek, can momentum carry on the way it has the last couple of weeks for Jason Couch?
I think so. It's all match play next week. It's a best of 5 in the first match, and I'm certainly riding a big wave of confidence right now and see if I can't ride it into Virginia Beach.
And the nice thing is that my golf game did not distract from your bowling at all, right? You were out there in the golf course and still made it here.
Well, on that par 3, when you knocked that 8-iron stiff, it scared me a little bit. I might need some strokes.
We'll see you next week in Virginia, right?
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, too, to all of our good friends here at the Villages. We talk about this great retirement community, a great country club environment with great golf and great bowling. You'll see our champion, Jason Couch, next week as the battle at Little Creek will be on at 2 o'clock Eastern Time here on the worldwide leader in sports, the final winter tour stop. Coming up.